G'day everyone, sorry about the odd camera angle. Today in the GoSun I'm going to try some rice. I had previously tried this in the Sport, but the tray for the Sport is really quite long and thin, doesn't have a lot of depth to it, and so the rice didn't cook evenly and couldn't get enough water in there basically. Same when I was trying to do spaghetti. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more luck with the Fusion tray. It's got a bit more depth to it, and of course rice and pasta, you need a lot of water, so that's what I'm going to do. The other thing that I noticed cleaning and using this tray, because it's the electric hybrid version, it's got this cooking element underneath, and really when you sit it down it's kind of resting on that, so I imagine that could actually wear through, and you don't want that. So I'm using just a little stand, which is one of the trays from the GoSun Sport. Oh, and by the way, I'm looking at getting some of these silicone trays for the Fusion as well. So anyway, I'm just using that to protect underneath, and I noticed that that was a problem when you're washing it as well. Got to be very careful with that. Okay, so rice, again, very simple. Just going to put rice on the bottom here. Probably enough for about maybe two or three people. Yeah, so plenty of depth. Okay, because rice effectively doubles in volume, of course. Put some water in there. I'm just using this as a container. It's cold water. Put that in there. Usually I'd give the rice a bit of a rinse, but really it's not necessary. Couple of fingers of depth of water above the rice, and that's still a couple of fingers below the top lip of the tray. So that should work okay. All right, now the tricky thing, putting that into the oven without spilling. Oh, and the other thing I noticed as well, while I think of it, the great thing about the GoSun Sport is it's got this beautiful wooden handle on here, so you've got a bit of leverage and you can hold the whole weight by just holding on the handle. But with the Fusion, you don't have that same leverage, so you really need to support it at the other end, which means you need a glove, basically, an oven mitt glove, to deal with this. Okay. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Obviously I've got to be really careful carrying this out. Put that in. Okay, I'm going to take that outside. Okay, so here we are outside, and it's a little cloudy. Well, this is typical tropical weather here, cumulus clouds, and the sun's about to track more or less left to right. Yeah, following that sort of right to left, sorry. So what I've done is I've aligned the stove to track that azimuth, if you like. So I don't need to point it directly at the sun. As the sun tracks overhead, it's just going to follow this line here. Okay, so just pushing that shut. Obviously with the cloudy situation here, it's going to be a little bit less efficient, but that's okay. We've got a bit of time, and the sun's pretty powerful. As you can see, that shadow's just sharpened up there. So we should get some power out of the sun pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for about 45 minutes and come back and have a look at the rice. So a funny thing happened today. I got a bit distracted, and this ended up being out in the sun for maybe 2.5 hours. As you can see on the outside it's actually burned, but the inner part here is quite fluffy and nice. So I'm just going to try that a little bit. It's very warm. It's a little bit maybe like what's it called? Gluggy rice? Kind of sticky rice, yeah. So I just think it's a little bit overcooked, but otherwise I think the stove works pretty well for rice, as long as you keep an eye on your own cooking. Okay, so that's a bit of a success. Cheers.